Good day and welcome to Iroquois Park Sports Center here in Whitby, Ontario. My name is Matthew Carrick for the JVI Sports Network as we present to you today Ontario Series lacrosse action between the OSL leading Brooklin Merchants and the second place Six Nations Rivermen as they play today here on June the 28th. Brooklyn coming in with a 9-1 record, 7-3 for the Rivermen. Those are the top two teams in Ontario Series lacrosse, with the Hamilton Bengals in third, 6-4. 6-4 also for the Owen Sound North Stars. And at the bottom of the pile, Ennismore James Gang 2-10 record through their 12 games, and 1-9 in the debut for the Collingwood Crews. But it is the Brooklyn Merchants who will be hosting the President's Cup here in this building at the end of August, 23rd to the 30th. For tournament info, visit presidentscup.lacrosse.com. Tournament passes now on sale. You can save 25% by using the Merchants promo code. We are underway with the Rivermen in their black uniforms with red helmets. And quickly a hit upstairs there on Chris Courtney on that faceoff. Goes off to the bench, favoring his face mask. Deacon not getting the start for the Merchants. Has to collapse over top of that outside shot, headed for the 5-hole. And a good save there. Adam Gardner, Ed Fines, and Brad Giroux, your three officials for this game on what is a doubleheader day here at Iroquois Park. Over the top, Barbara Pfeiffer, one of the alternate captains for this team. Initial shot stopped. Eddie Renault's second chance. Also gobbled up by Ty Belanger, who gets the call here for the Rivermen, who are playing on back-to-back days. Lost 12-10 to Hamilton yesterday. Give and go to the cutting Greg Elijah Brown, and the first goal of the game goes the way of the Rivermen. Just breaks off the bench and keeps going straight through the middle. Does Greg Elijah Brown. And that will be a 1-0 lead here early on for the Rivermen, who have the most goals scored in the league. Some 8 more than the Rivermen, although they played the same amount of games coming into this afternoon. And Ayala Stockstader with the assist. On the first goal of the game here. Right at the tail end of the shot clock, Merchants able to get one in on Belanger. Makes the save as it's brought up by Thunderhill. His first season of senior B lacrosse, back across to Davin Bomberry. That one bounced wide. Thunderhill has it again. Floats it back to the righty. Cutting in one more time was Greg Elijah Brown. Didn't get it to work that time. Here's Parker Pfeiffer. In towards the corner, Daryl Robertson. Elects not to shoot. Robertson now trying to feed a man through the middle. Got hit while falling. Kellen Polera hit up high, and we'll have our first, well, I was going to say first penalty of the game, but I believe it's going to be an unsportsmanlike call coming up here to Six Nations. Oof. Oh, I missed the stick toss at the end of the play the first time round. I was busy looking at the hit upstairs, but first power play here will go to the Merchants. Big outside high step from Devin Pfeiffer. Where's the captain? See, initial shot bounces off the goalie and into the corner. Pfeiffer up top to Devin, behind his back Parker. Two brothers playing together. Around the back again. Lifted in towards the net for Parker, and that gets through. So all tied up here by way of the power play goal. Nifty little behind the back feed and somehow gets through Belanger. He didn't even realize that was in for the tying goal. Deacon not out of his net. Little half-hearted bump there from Mason Hill. Will McLeod picking up an assist as well. Over the top, Zach Miller looking to go far side, quick stick. They return it back, and Darren Elliott can't put it through the feet of the Rivermen netminder. Playing it back across. It lands in the stick of Zach Hairwires. 5 points last night. No shot, still with it. Still, despite being swarmed by 3 defenders, didn't get a ton on the shot, and you can understand why. Although the stick was out of the pile the entire way, trying to keep the play alive. Back now for Parker Pfeiffer. The goal scorer going to lose control here, and the ball will go over and back. Jake Kranz to start it back. Danton Miller. Big high step, no shot. He'll shovel it back. Give and go between him and Dockstader. Bounces off a couple boards. Before coming back to Jordan Goddard. Snaking his way through a double team. Was able to get through untouched, but then lost control of the ball with a stick check after the fact. Taken down in the corner. Wanted a possession call. Not going to get it at the tail end of the shot clock. Closing in on 5 minutes gone here in our first period. Scheduled for 3:20s. All tied 1-1. Polera over the top, and then big pile up in the crease as Belanger made the save. Belanger's been at this thing long time. Played through the Brampton system, played Colorado Mammoth at one point. And now here in Ontario Senior Lacrosse. Thunderhill, initial shot blocked, picks up the rebound and scores. Good individual effort here from Thunderhill. After his initial shot didn't work, cleanly blocked. That's a nice pickup. Nearly clean too, and then the rising sub shot finds its way through to the back of the net in our first water break of the day on what has been a hot afternoon. There is air conditioning here, but doesn't do much to calm the humid 30 outside. Both teams have the fans going down in the tunnels. And if this is your first game watching here in Whitby, as the face-off violation on the interference gives it to the Rivermen. Yes, new carpet down for this season as well. On to the crease, diving, they score. What a goal for Davin Bomberry on what looked like a nothing play. Going to come in and take flight and put the Rivermen up 3-1. Bomberry slips the pick and then goes airborne for a pretty goal. Third of the game for the Rivermen in the first 5.5 minutes of this game. Rivermen trying to come in again. Thunderhill to Zach Hairwires, far side. Hairwires has it once again. Thunderhill sets the screen. Little pick and roll action didn't work. Quick stick now. Looking 5-hole on Deacon Knott. And he'll play it up. Nicholas Volkov to Parker Pfeiffer. Inside the restraining line, they continue working it around the horn to the far corner. 10 on the shot clock. As Pfeiffer's going to get it back. Excuse me, this is Daryl Robertson. His twister towards the feet of Belanger, stuffed. Rebound still being fought over. It's going to go the way of Six Nations. Across the timeline, Jake Kranz brings it down. Avoids the check of Robert Morgan, and now spinning away from pressure, Brooklyn Muir, whose night ended early yesterday. Round the back. Shot closing in. Bomberry looking for the loose ball, as is Jordan Goddard. Bomberry coming back in a big collision there with Knott. And then the takedown behind the net. As meanwhile, Sean Malloy carrying it across center. Darren Elliott waiting for the last man to change. That was Devin Pfeiffer. Back for Elliott. Excuse me, Pfeiffer, who took a little bit off it that time to put it in the feet. On the run, rising shot. That might have got up underneath the mask of Knott, but he recovers and comes out of his crease. Only 8 seconds to clear half, and they're about 7.5 into that, and yes, indeed, the turnover. Thunderhill. Just over 12 minutes remaining here in the scheduled 20 of our first period. Little twist shot. Look at the ball move here from Six Nations, as Greg Elijah Brown is going to get number 2 of this game. On a beauty play. Set up here by the Rivermen. Follow the ball as it bounces through the zone, and then last man cutting to the net was Greg Elijah Brown, who's there for the finish. It's already 2 on the board in the opening 8 minutes here for Greg Elijah Brown of the 4 put up by the Rivermen. Another battle for the face-off. Little takedown there against the Merchants gives them possession. Mason Hill keeping the ball carrier at bay. Shot through traffic. Zach Miller going to chase this rebound out and past face-off restraining line. Now coming in hard, Cole Tucker. He got run over. Blake McDonald wins that battle, and look out close to the line. Chris Courtney in and out of his stick, close to the over and back marker. Dockstader. Far side, returning it back just as quick to Danton Miller. Shovels it back through the center. Falling there was Matt Duncan, which meant that the Merchants couldn't pick up and push transition, but it's at the tail end of the shot clock anyways, so move point as it's headed back with 11 minutes to go here in the period. 4-1 Rivermen. Pair from Greg Elijah Brown, Thunderhill, Davin Bomberry. A beautiful diving play. Parker Pfeiffer, the lone goal scorer for the Merchants, came on a power play. Only one of the games so far. Belanger down a little early, and then the back in call. Belanger arguing the fact, as is the Rivermen defender, Will McLeod. To the outside, pulled down by Cole Tucker. Outside shot. That was McLeod shooting. Belanger goes down. Looks like he thought he needed some attention on the left pad there, but I think still just upset about that earlier back in call. Zach Harwire's down to the crease. Thunderhill stepped in, thought he scored. But it is a crease violation. He's going to try and screen Deacon, not on the breakout through Kobe Hanser. Kellen Polera. Now Devin Pfeiffer. Polera far side. Eddie Renault hard in the back of his man, went down. Rivermen wanted a call, not going to get it. It's a goal for the Merchants. Comes right after Thunderhill thought he had one himself. Official has a better look at that left foot, but called on a crease violation. There you see the screen. And the Merchants working it through, a big rebound. And a goal to put them back within 2. Into the back half of the period now. 4-2 lead Rivermen. Face-off controlled by Tyson Bomberry. Rivermen quickly to the crease. Thunderhill back there again looking for a rebound, but stolen away. Over the line, Marcus Elvin with it. From the corner, back across. Up top, Cole Tucker on the run, shoots, got buried afterwards, and there's a penalty coming up. Now he's tripped up through the middle. That'll be the second one. And the stoppage in play. And we got some chopping over on the far side as Cole Tucker is down and hurt. So officials have some sorting out to do. 2 initial penalties on the play through the middle. First one going to be on the hit here. And then, well, Tucker goes to get up. Gets, well, initially thought it was tripped up, but no, that is hacked down, and you can see in quite some discomfort. Tucker is up and being assisted off. 2 players in the box here for Six Nations. Jake Kranz and Kessler Doolittle. Tucker straight down the tunnel, as you would expect. Official Brad Giroux giving the explanation. Oh, and the extra penalty is going to give a penalty shot here. So is there 3 penalties? Jake Kranz comes out. Pardon me, Jake Kranz sitting out of our view. So a chance here for the Merchants and Parker Pfeiffer. Already has one on the power play in this game. Now awarded a penalty shot as the official comes over to explain to Kranz the situation. So I think what we had was 3 penalties on the play, all of them to the Rivermen. So Kranz for the interference hit. Released here by this penalty shot by Parker Pfeiffer. Taking it slowly and ripping and scoring. One goal game thanks to Pfeiffer, who has his second with this penalty shot. So Oakley Thomas also got a penalty for roughing on that mix-up. So that is how we get to penalty shot territory, as well as a 5-on-3 here for a full 2 minutes in favor of the Merchants. Glorious opportunity now with Pfeiffer. Back inside the restraining line, back across. Quick stick chance. Returned it back to the near side and just unable to pot it was Pfeiffer. Belanger quickly to Courtney. He'll clear center. Has a man with him. Thunderhill from a bad angle off the post and off the back of a sprawling Deacon Knott, and it's in. Since twice in this opening period, we've seen slick hands from Thunderhill. Off the bounce from the wrong side. Post back through the Golden Arches and in. Thunderhill, the 5-on-3 shorthanded goal. His second of the game. Pretty good one. Eight minutes left to go here. A minute left in the double penalties to the Rivermen. Just scooped in desperation by Robert Morgan. Don't think it had to be that desperate. All of this on the Rivermen shot clock, so it's bombed back from them. They did have to be desperate with it and did not put it on net, so it'll be a full 30 seconds and a full 40 on the 5-on-3 remaining here for the Merchants, with just about 7.5 left to go in the period. Back down to the crease. Tucker with it again, back out there after falling lame, causing those two penalties. Back up top, Pfeiffer. That's Devin taking the shot. Matt Duncan was back at center as the safety valve and going to do his job accurately twice. Shot clock does sound here on Brooklyn as they're now going to look like bring Belanger to the bench. Never actually got that far, and look out, he's out of the net. I think, not sure that Knott realized it. May have gone for the empty netter, as now there's a mass exodus from the penalty box, and we're back to 5-on-5 with 7 minutes left here in the period. 5-3 Rivermen lead. Zach Miller down the boards. Back through Duncan. Out to the far side. Duncan's low shot. Straight down Main Street, handled easily by Belanger. Elects not to go all the way down floor. Mason Hill will cross center. Thunderhill. Couple side steps back and forth. Ball down to the far side. Couple big collisions there from the Merchant defenders. Thunderhill has it, and bouncer just missed the mark because there was contact on Davin Bomberry, excuse me. Bomberry still mixing it up over in front of the Merchants bench, and Bomberry gonna go here and be the only one. Don't think the Rivermen quite like that call. Think there should be one both ways. May have a case for a roughing call after a early power play goal from the Merchants, a penalty shot that worked to perfection, and then a full 5 minute 5-on-3. The Rivermen back to the box here again. Wayne Hill getting the explanation. Over on that Rivermen bench is the head coach with Tim Bomberry, Roger Weiss, Wade Thompson, the trainer, and Equipment manager Porter wishing to give a shout out to Rick as always. From up top, Devin Pfeiffer. The power play sets up. Parker back to Devin. Just over top of the net. Didn't hit anything on the way. And fresh 30 here for the Rivermen penalty kill unit. Brooker Muir will cross center. Holding out the one hand to Ward against Hansor. Now comes back with two hands on the stick. Back across the floor. Headed back toward the bench area. 5.5 to go in the period. We'll dish off. Long range shot. Oh my. Jordan Goddard. How would you think this is possible? From well outside. Brooker Muir lulls them to sleep. And Jordan Goddard puts it in. Second shorthanded marker of the period for the Rivermen, who now lead 6-3. Pfeiffer's here on the right side. It's going to be Parker taking the quarterback position. Back to Devin. Those two will cycle. Through Eddie Renault on the far side. Back to the corner. Renault again. Back up top. And Pfeiffer delayed just enough. But then off the arm of Belanger. Renault trying to finesse it and does. Second power play marker of the game for the Merchants, who just work it around the crease. Kind of lulling everybody to sleep again before Renault realizes he's got all kinds of time and space to wind up and do that. Darren Elliott on the assist. The faceoff recovered by Tyson Bomberry. Down the boards, back to Ross Hill. Thunderhill on the crease again. Got pulled out in his direction, but then rolled back towards Hairwires, who's involved looking for it, along with Liam McCrory in the corner. Down for Belanger, came out of his crease to recover the loose ball with Tucker in the area. Hill from the outside elects to shoot. Just wide. That was Ross Hill stopping it from going over and back. Thunderhill has it again. Fights through possibly a high hit. Hairwires spins away. And it'll bounce back into the crease of Knott. Under 4 minutes to go in this 2-goal game. 6-4 Rivermen here in the first period. Sean Malloy across center. Good chance there as that one just bounced. And then sky high. Courtney running it back out. Briefly on the carpet for Blake McDonald. Down into the corner, taking flight. Courtney. Shot gobbled up by Knott and quickly sent down floor. Kobe Hanser has one off the bench on the crease. Off the post. Tyson Bomberry back with it. Mason Hill on the run. He'll cut back behind his teammate before shooting. Not still able to see it. He'll get it up the center as the track meet is on in full force here. Daryl Robertson has a man off the bench. In and out of the stick of Kellen Polera. And now coming back to the Rivermen on the near side. Flip to Thunderhill. He'll slow things down now with 2.5 to go in the period. Both teams with 2 timeouts to use. 1 per period. Greg Elijah Brown on a pair of goals here in the period, stirring up all kinds of trouble there through the middle. Thunderhill had to go back and recover it. Looking for the quick stick near side, and Rivermen can't pull it down before the shot clock. Hairwires just missed. If he brings it down cleanly, it's a wide open net. Darren Elliott getting a return pass, shooting past the defender. Ball in the Rivermen crease. They'll play out to McDonald. Under 2 to go as McDonald crosses the line. Danton Miller, Thunderhill. Coming off the bench, Bomberry. Davin Bomberry back to Danton Miller to Thunderhill. Spinning shot there, hit something in front and deflected towards the corner. Hill trying to one-hand pick it up. He goes down awkwardly. Maybe hurt, and we get a holding the stick call. The first penalty of the game coming up to the Merchants, and the first Rivermen power play. After 3 straight and a penalty shot in the period for the Merchants. Holding the stick, officially the call. With 1:26 left to go in this first period on doubleheader day. So if you're watching this game, be sure to check out the channel, subscribe, like the video, and go look for Brooklyn Lacrosse Club versus Six Nations Chiefs. Going to be a dandy tonight with 2 of the top teams in Major Series lacrosse as well. No look pass from Hairwires down to the crease. Just outside of a minute left to go. Greg Elijah Brown straight down Main Street. Off the arm of Knott and out to the near boards. Running into it, Matt Duncan. Trying to get away from Dockstader. Got plowed into the corner. Official right there. Couple one-on-one battles, and Elliott had something to say to the official as he got up after that big hit. Rivermen shot off of Knott. Nicely timed stick check from Hill. Playing back through Nicholas Volkov. Great transition player once for the Burlington Blaze. His first season of senior ball after finishing his junior career with the Mimico Mountaineers. Back to Hairwires. Big head fake. Danton Miller. Back far side, Greg Elijah Brown. Not able to handle that one. Although given right back and then at the horn on the crease. Shot that Knott is going to stand in and save. But the offense coming up big in this first period. 6 goals from the Rivermen despite being down multiple times. Gave up a penalty shot, gave up a full 5-on-3. And the teams will head to the room with the Rivermen leading 6-4. You're watching a JVI Sports Network presentation of Ontario Series Lacrosse. From here in Whitby, we'll take a 10-minute timeout and bring you back to Iroquois Park after this break. Teams making their way back onto the floor for the second period here in Whitby, Iroquois Park Sports Center. In the newly turfed Pad 1, home of the Brooklyn Merchants, home of the President's Cup, home of the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club, home of the Whitby Warriors. As we get set for the face-off here, the usual suspects, as you would expect. Parker Pfeiffer with a pair of goals in that period. He's second in OSL points to just Thunder Hill, who's got a pair of goals. Put him up to 28 on the season now. Through this, his 11th game. Again, Thunder Hill just his first season of Senior B lacrosse. Far side, Zach Hairwire's the bouncer there. Comes back close to the timeline, but not over. Good save made by Jordan Goddard. He'll rifle it to the far side. A shot there just eludes the official after missing the net from Thunder Hill. At the tail of the power play. First one of the game. For the Rivermen, does not connect. Bouncer into the corner for Cole Tucker. He tried to get it across Florida, but was stuffed there by Damon Dockstader. And stood over top of Tucker. Back around the horn they work. Off the reset, Eddie Renault scored on the power play, one of two power play goals. There was a penalty shot goal in there as well, 3 of the 4 for the Merchants. Skipper off the carpet, lands in the left leg pad. Now Ross Hill brings it into the attacking zone. Not crouching and ready for his first test of the period. Shrug of the shoulders. Back off the defender. No backing called. On a line looking to feed transition, but Blake McDonald got his stick up in the way. Rod Squires slowly bringing it back in. Hill. Cross to Ross Hill. That's Thunder to Ross. Now back towards the corner. Hairwires will shovel it through the middle. Had a cutter, but tipped away. And now cleanly breaking out here by Nicholas Volkov scores. Told you Volkov did a lot of this in his junior career with combination of Burlington and Mimico. That will pull Brooklyn back within 1. (6-5). Here is him and Kobe Anzer work transition. Face-off wing, quick shot. And a bounce back outside the line. Matt Duncan. To Dockstader in the corner. Bomberry. Working it back to the left side. Over the top. Danton Miller finds a spot. Another guy who's been doing it for a long time has this big outside shot, as the Merchants just found out. And you can see it comes kind of around a screen and pushes the Rivermen into a 7 spot. Still under 3 minutes gone in this period. Back up to a 2-goal advantage. Playing down the boards, Courtney. Posturing up, Goddard will feed it through. Tried to finesse it in the direction of Greg Elijah Brown. It floats back to the crease instead. Kobe Hanser. will cross center. Big chop there taken by Kellen Polera. Waits for Renault to take to the floor. Polera back far side. Big pick in front. And Rivermen blew up that play. Going hard after Pfeiffer. He'll chase the ball towards the corner. Only 3 left to shoot. Up for Eddie Renault. Looking quick stick. As Darian Elliott snuck free, but the shot clock does sound. 3.5 gone in the period. Jake Kranz does enough just to cross center before giving off to Ross Hill. Cutter there was Dockstader. Ross Hill one more time to Davin Bomberry, who spins, got hit, and did so up high as he was shooting. Shot was on target. Bomberry back upright and heading off the floor. Arm of the official still in the air though. Rivermen have 6 guys out there. Merchants calling for too many men call. Did the goalie not quite get to the bench? Not going to find out as it's a high stick. First power play didn't work for the Rivermen. So they'll go back to the man advantage again. 7-5 the score here in the second period. 15:39 left to go. Clock issue. At the moment, as they try and put the penalty time up for Robert Morgan. Reminder that the President's Cup will be played in this building August 23rd to the 30th. For tournament info, visit presidentscup.lacrosse.ca. Tournament passes now on sale. Buy early and save 20% by using the promo code MERCHANTS. All capital letters, MERCHANTS. Know that Brooklyn will be there. 6 Nations trying to join them. Brooklyn as the hosts. If they should win Ontario Series title, Rivermen want to reset. Officials kind of looking at each other. There is a count up top by the top official, but no one was aware of it. The lead was about to blow the play dead. Now they're going to reset and blow play in with 25 on the clock. After all that, the penalty time did not get on the board, so not entirely sure how much is remaining here on the power play of the Rivermen. Took the shot anyway since it's cross center by Volkov. Already scored in transition here in this period. That one pushed the lead back to 1. Now sitting 7-5. Eddie Renault from the outside, pick coming. Renault will walk it in past the restraining line, wants to break through. Pair of defenders, can't do it. It was a big wall of Damon Dockstader and Jake Krantz. Now back the other way, Thunderhill looking for help. He'll just wait it out. As Hairwire's off the bench. Playing it back to Greg Elijah Brown. Shot comes from up top. Reset of the clock. Hairwire's with it, still on the power play. Down to Hill. Hairwire's inside the restraining line. That one skips off Knott. And it's going to roll back to Ross Hill, who will get a fresh reset. Another shot. Blocked by the defender. This time it's Hairwire's behind his back. Looking to get it back up top to Thunderhill. Big hit at the side of the crease. Took down 2 players, including Danton Miller. And you've got to really throw a shot to knock Danton Miller off his feet. 6.5 gone in this second period. Back to 5-on-5 lacrosse. Eddie Renault. Cross through Parker Pfeiffer. Back to the corner with 10 to shoot. Zach Miller dancing around. As it's played through, and just clearing out of the crease was Pfeiffer. Shot wasn't on target. Big battle in on the crease and in front of the official. A slash knocks down Renault, and Rivermen are headed back to the box for the fourth time. Fourth power play, that is. As getting up slowly as Eddie Renault down in the corner has regained his footing. And Mason Hill got a piece of Renault right in front of the official. I think he's checking to see if we can get this penalty up. It is on the board. It is a slashing call. And Devin Pfeiffer has it behind the back. Low shot, Darren Elliott, they score. That took all of 18 seconds for the Merchants to get power play goal number 3 here in this game. Pass behind the back. And then the quick shot. And it's back to a 1-goal deficit. Will McLeod grabs his second assist of the game, as does Parker Pfeiffer on the Darren Elliott power play goal. Running through Daryl Robertson. Found the trailing Devin Pfeiffer. Robertson has it back now, though, on the far side. Waiting for a full change. Zach Miller had thoughts of cutting to the net. Goes behind it instead to Pfeiffer. Trying to jump for that was Tucker. As penalty here against the Merchants. Rivermen bench want them to slow things right down here with Annalise Dockstader. And a penalty coming up here to Brooklyn. Under 10 on the shot clock as they work it back to the far side, and nothing doing for Dockstader, Elijah Brown, or Thunder Hill. Holding call here coming up to Brooklyn will give the Rivermen their third power play of the game. Don't think they have a power play goal as of yet. Try on the initial shot there. This their third opportunity. Brooklyn already with 3. 2 shorthanded markers, however, for the Rivermen in that first period. Around the pack, Elijah Brown. He's on hat-trick watch. Ball stolen away from Hairwires. And look out here because Volkov is off to the races again. Can't find him with a pass. Was Ryan McCrory. He'll play it back. McCrory deked himself out and landed in the crease. Just over a minute left before the halfway mark of the period. 1:10 to go in the power play. Thunderhill accepting the ball from Craig Elijah Brown. Back down in the corner. Played by Ross Hill. Up top, Elijah Brown on the crease. Hairwires. Not did well to stop that, but the rebound in the corner handled by Thunderhill. And then Bomberry's big pick knocked the defender down. Hairwires discussing with the official as it's brought back up. 10.5 to go in the period, 35 to go in the power play. Eddie Renault, cross floor. Real slow now from Parker Pfeiffer. Coming up to the ball, Cole Tucker. Gonna head off towards the bench with the shot clock dying out. Merchants happy to muck it and kill it off with only now 17 seconds left here in the third power play of the game for the Rivermen. Greg Elijah Brown setting up. Here's Thunder Hill ripping off the end boards. Bounces right back to Ross Hill, however. Up top, Danton Miller, and nicely to his left, a shrug of the shoulders from Knott. All kinds of players falling down, and you got a penalty here. A slash against Danton Miller, and I think we might get offsetting penalties. Coming up here. So the cross check is the extra to Ryan McCrory. Slash on the takedown before that by Danton Miller. Under 10 to play here in the period. Believe we're going to be 5-on-5 with the penalties offsetting. Nothing on the board. And yes, that is indeed the case. Danton Miller for cross-checking, Ryan McCrory for slashing. Played back up top, trying to feed it through Bomberry. He's working hard for that loose ball, not going to get it. As running away from everybody, Robert Morgan couldn't pick up cleanly and gets buried. Just as he did so, Davin Bomberry in there. Now going to go look after the loose ball. Bomberry to Hill. This is Thunder Hill. The outside boards for Hairwires. Again, 5-on-5 after those offsetting penalties. 9 to go in the period. Cutting through Elijah Brown. Knott went left, ball bounced right. And lucky for the Merchants, went wide of the net. Kobe Hanser ran past the penalty box. Danton Miller faked like he was going to throw the stick check from the penalty box. That would not have ended well, but Merchants now get a chance to set up. 10 on their shot clock. No look into the corner. Played here by Will McLeod. Down on the crease. Twister! Back in the rocking chair is Belanger, and actually shuffled himself forward a little bit. That's how close he thought it was. Official right there, though. Damon Dockstader allowed to come back up floor for the Rivermen. Pushed down in the corner. Bouncer here, stolen away by the Merchants. Or headed down floor again, led by Matt Duncan. He'll wait up for a bounce pass near side. Faked it to Cole Tucker. Everybody on the Rivermen well aware of that. Devin Pfeiffer lost his stick. He's got to go get a new twig. Tucker playing it back. The shovel pass from the far side. Rolls back up to the restraining line. A couple little side steps from Polera. He'll get his own rebound and a fresh 30 seconds. Ball bounces back here in the shot. Intercepted. Up to center. Rod Squire runs into a check. Liam McCrory. 7.5 left to play. Penalized players have to wait for a dead ball to release here. Could turn into long minor penalties. Ross Hill on the crease. Greg Elijah Brown, and not matched him move for move. Adam Perrone from Pfeiffer. Perrone across off the bench. Eddie Renault. Back from the X position. They'll put it back to the boards. Wheeling over the top is Pfeiffer. Drop down to a knee. Devin Pfeiffer. Spinning back with it now. Will shovel it in behind the net, and Renault caught it but couldn't do anything with it before the shot clock sounded. Under 7 minutes to play, 6.5 nearly. In this 1-goal game, the scoring has settled down since the first period. Just 3 combined goals, and as I say that, Hairwires will pick the corner. Can't forget that there's absolute snipers on both sides of the equation here in this game. Part of why these two teams are the two top ones in the Ontario Senior B Loop. Watch this release. Not down to meet it, and Zach Hairwires into the top corner. That'll be his second of the game, 4th of the weekend, after he went 2-3 last night in Hamilton. Ball down, shoveled back to the timeline, and absolute disbelief from Ryan McCrory and the Merchants bench. But it is Rivermen possession. 6 minutes left to go in this second period. Elijah Brown has it in the corner. A little bit of a give and go there with Ross Hill. Double team. Working it through Oakley. Thomas took down the ball carrier. Going back to have a word is Sean Malloy. Belanger sneaking his way up close to the center line. Elijah Brown swarmed by a double team. Bench calling for a hold. Not going to get it. Thunderhill. Straight from up top. Kick save, and may have even surprised Deacon Knott himself. Greg Elijah Brown, a shrug of the shoulder, Knott turns that one aside. Greg Elijah Brown picks it up and was taken down. And Deacon Knott wants a chance to check his equipment. Deacon Knott will get a chance to head off for a drink of water as well, and both goaltenders will do so on this hot afternoon. Scheduled for 2 games here at Iroquois Park Sports Center here on June the 28th. Don't want to get too far ahead. So if you're watching here on JVI, we encourage you to subscribe to the channel and go look for the MSL matchup coming up later this evening. A good one, as always, between the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club and Six Nations Chiefs. The Chiefs currently sitting top of the table. Rebels still in the Junior B playoffs. Arrows near the top of the Junior A standings, and flight number 9 is cleared for takeoff. Second trip of the day. In the air for Davin Bomberry. That's going to slip past all defenders, and that is another pretty diving crease goal from Davin Bomberry. He's got a pair like that here today, and a hat trick. Jordan Goddard the assist. I think just the second there for Bomberry. Double check the stats in just under 5 minutes at the intermission break. Lead now up to 3 for the Rivermen, the highest it's been all day. Back when it was 4-1, low shot here. Tanton Miller chases his rebound out to the corner, and extra whistles. Merchants headed to the box on a slash into the legs. On the far side. See if we caught this. Keep your eye on the right side of your screen. No, I think it's already gone. Fortunately. But it will be power play number 3 of the day for the Rivermen. Still looking for their first power play goal. On the slashing call from Ryan McCrory. Greg Elijah Brown takes top spot. Behind the back. Elijah Brown again shoots as the seas parted and Knott was there to see it. Lifted out for Volkov. Penalty coming up here to the Rivermen. Volkov's done it again. Even when you leave early on the bench, you can't catch up to Volkov. In all alone, couple fakes and into the corner. Second of the game for Volkov. Closes the gap just a little bit. And that one shorthanded. Thunderhill will quarterback the rest of the power play. Minute 15 remaining. Hill elects to go to his right for Hairwires. Thunderhill, no shot. Playing back, coming in, Jordan Goddard. Rang it off the post, it sounded like. Robert Morgan had thoughts of taking that down floor, but couldn't get past Hairwires, who now fakes it to Goddard. Hairwires with it. Sliding to his right was not, off his shoulder, up out of play. Looking to go to Hairwires up top. Boulanger up to the timeline in case he needed to save the possession. Back to Hairwires. Trying to come across to the near side, intercepted almost cleanly by Robert Morgan. Tipped off his stick, he'll come back and recover, and now about half a second difference. Penalty clock over shot clock. Pardon me. We'll see if the Merchants elect to run this one all the way down. Under 3 to go in the second period. 9-7. Coming in, a twist shot from Cole Tucker. Got it in on Boulanger. Penalty expires, and jumping onto the floor was Ryan McCrory just in time to meet Hairwires. McCrory with it. To the trailing Pfeiffer, a bouncer in towards the corner, cutting through is Devin Pfeiffer. Picks up his own rebound. Fresh 30. Back to the trailing Polera. And this time the rebound will go to the Rivermen. Tucker got a piece of Dockstader on the way by, and some more Uzanos from the Rivermen bench as we close in on the 2-minute warning. Thunderhill. Down to Greg Elijah Brown. Danton Miller spins off coverage, puts it back to the X position. Only 5 to shoot here for Bomberry. Already with 2 tries. Looked like he was headed back for a crease dive again. May have wanted a call there from a little bit extra from Matt Duncan. Not going to get it. Minute 35 left in the period. Merchants to the outside. Zach Miller. Screen too hefty. Aaron Brooker Muir knocked him down. Little conversation between Blake McDonald and Eddie Renault as those two made their way off the floor. Damon Dockstader to the boards for Thunderhill. Off the bench, Hairwires. Played back now, Ross Hill. Lane to the net, cut out, and he'll be driven down into the crease. Minute 6 left to go. Nobody took timeout in that first period, so both teams still with a pocket full. You can't take them with them, so wait to see if Wayne Hill or Ryan Degerton decide to use one. Merchants tried to send that cross crease. We picked up here with 43 seconds left to go by Jake Krantz. Rivermen do not call the timeout. Thunderhill brings it down the boards. They will probably take the shot clock all the way down though. Hill outside. Greg Elijah Brown stopped in his tracks. Back to the crease. Ross Hill knocked him up. Made the stop. It's going to roll back into his crease. He'll corral it. 16 seconds left to go. And yes, the Merchants now will get the break. Scramble play in front of the crease. Nearly resulted in final possession coming to the Merchants, but or Rivermen, excuse me, it will be the Merchants who will have the last second shot with 16 left to go. Another reminder that the President's Cup will be right here in this building, Iroquois Park Sports Center, August 23rd through the 30th. For tournament info, visit presidentscup.lacrosse.ca. Tournament passes now on sale. If you buy early, you can save 25% by using the promo code MERCHANTS. Both of these two teams trying to get there. The Merchants will be, as the host team, part of the tournament, meaning only one other spot up for grabs going to the Ontario champions. Or if that is the Merchants, the second place team. Down the boards. Cycle is on here. Working it back in towards the corner. Up top, time's going to expire before Devin Pfeiffer can find one final pass down into the corner. And that will end the second. 9-7 in favor of the Six Nations Rivermen. We'll take the break, 10 minutes. Bring you back for what should be an exciting third period. You're watching a JVI Sports Network presentation of Ontario Series Lacrosse from here in Whitby. We'll be right back. Third period underway here in Whitby. We start at 5-on-5, 9-7 in favor of the Rivermen, who have fired 28 shots, in the direction, 29 in the direction of Deacon Knott, 28 for the Merchants, combining for their 7 goals. Annalise Dockstader with 4 assists. Across the timeline, back in towards the corner. Comes to Danton Miller. Miller will spin back into coverage. Miller shot off the end boards and takes a swipe at the eluding Kobe Hanser, who has player off the bench, Eddie Renault. I think he was looking at the pass, but not ready for it. Outside rip coming from Will McLeod. Trying to save the over and back. Did. Right in the direction of Devin Pfeiffer. And everybody was already headed off the floor, though, so the shot clock does sound. A minute and a half into this period. Open lane to the crease, and taking too much of it was Hairwire as he gets called. We're stepping in the orange carpet. Members of Brooklin Lacrosse Club getting ready for their matchup tonight against Six Nations Chiefs. Game you can also find here on the JVI YouTube channel. Be sure you're subscribed. Under 10 to go on the shot clock as it bounces over to Cole Tucker. Has to hustle it, and did, into the feet there of Belanger. Courtney clears center. Thunderhill with it. Working on 2 goals already. This one wide of the mark as it bounced off the back boards. Long bomb from Knott. Had a player in behind Belanger. Couldn't find Parker Pfeiffer because the Rivermen goaltender intercepted it. And this is not good. Something's up with Thunderhill, who is stalled in place. And called for the attention of the training staff. Hopefully just a cramp. For Thunderhill. If you're on the right side of your screen here, on the breakout, he'll show up already stopped in his tracks. So, I mean, if this is a cramp, told you it was warm in the building today and has been most of the week. That is probably best case scenario, but Thunderhill, the points leader in the Ontario Series of Lacrosse this season, with 49 coming into today. 26 of those goals. That'll put him up to 28 now. Him and Parker Pfeiffer within range of each other coming into this game. And hopefully that call for mustard that we heard coming out of the dressing room is, again, perhaps a good sign for Thunderhill, who's down trying to work out a cramp. Rod Squire to the rescue. There's Thunderhill down and is back to being attended to by longtime trainer Wade Thompson. Trainer for many of these Six Nation teams over the years. Thunderhill, a good and long junior career with the Six Nations Arrows. Traded to the St. Catharines Athletics for his final season at last year's trade deadline, and Athletics loading up again. Hanging for the Minto Cup. Looks like Thunderhill's ready to elevate here. As they ask for some help. Although they looks like they want to keep that leg as straight as possible, so you hope cramp, but I mean, this image right here could be more serious for Thunderhill. And again, told you the march to the playoffs is on here in the Ontario Series Lacrosse. Told you about the President's Cup a few times here in this building, and if you're a fan of the Six Nations Rivermen, hold your breath and all the good thoughts to Thunderhill. Very important part of this Six Nations Rivermen squad, who are still leading 9-7 here in this game. $17:20 left to go in regulation time. Clean face-off win. About as clean as they come for Tyson Bomberry. Brooker Muir, Davin Bomberry. He'll work it to the far boards. Bouncing around and looking for help. Gonna shoot. On his own is Austin Bloombergs. As now bounces back and into the stick of Parker Pfeiffer. Trailing the play, Will McLeod. Kobe Hanser. Returns it back to the near side. Double team comes and knocks down Parker Pfeiffer. He's feeling it as he gets back up. Gonna head slowly off towards the bench, allowing Bloombergs to run into this ball. Zach Harrowires. Big swim move out of the corner, looking for help. Had a cutter, couldn't connect. Now a big scrum for this ball, also including Ross Hill. Pair of assists in the game. Ten of the 18 runners for the Rivermen with points through 2 periods and a bit. From the outside, Merchants keep it going. Under 5 on the shot clock there as that one hit off the leg of a defender. It'll be the Rivermen playing it back through. Blake McDonald. To Dockstader. He'll cut back. Beats out his man on the way to the crease, and Deacon Knott was there, as he's been all afternoon. Big hit coming across center, but getting the ball away was Sean Malloy before he was drilled. So play continues here with the Merchants and Darren Elliott. Tucker inside the restraining line, all the way back through Zach Miller, headed to the crease, went for the quick stick, and Belanger off to his left nicely in a takedown right on the doorstep after the play. It's Tucker again who hits the turf, and before play resumes, Belanger wants a timeout. Headed to the bench for a drink here. Inside of 5 minutes gone here in the third period. It'll be restarted up top with Parker Pfeiffer. He'll go back to Devin, the captain. Far side, back to the crease. Pfeiffer's there and tucks it in. What a play and what a goal here for Parker Pfeiffer. Completing his hat trick. In style at the side of the net. Didn't look like there was much room there, but captain does find some space and pulls the Merchants back within one. That's 5 points on the day for Parker Pfeiffer. Including his 12th goal. 49 points, which is where Thunderhill started the day. He's got 2 goals. Saw him helped off the floor. Looks like Wade Thompson has left him in the dressing room, which is probably, again, if you're looking for good signs, one of those. Jake Kranz upsetting the apple cart here right at center. He'll come away with the loose ball and steal possession away from the Merchants. 6 minutes gone in this final regulation time period. Jordan Goddard, third on the team in goals with his 11th today. Tyson Bomberry walking through the front of the crease. It goes 10 for Goddard, 15 for Bomberry, who's got 2 more, so 17. And then Thunderhill, 26. If you're wondering how important number 28 is to this Rivermen team. Where's the same number of goals he's got now on the season after 2 today. Pfeiffer's outside shot sails wide of the net. Picked up by Austin Bloomberg. So he's off to the races here. Running in all alone and shoots from distance. Did let in a goal from about that far out in the first period, but solid ever since. Now with 13 left to go. Zach Miller to the boards. Devin Pfeiffer. Big pileup just inside the restraining line. Ball will work back to Renault, who lets an outside shot go. Pfeiffer a little late getting back to his feet. And Renault and Chris Courtney continue their battle that's been about 3 periods long brewing here. Danton Miller sends the lane to the net. He'll flip it back up here to Hairwires. Defender in front of him may have forced that shot in a different direction. Hairwires wants to return, wants a second chance, and it's going to be bounced right off the defender, perhaps Matt Duncan. Did go up out of play, though, just before the shot clock, so keep it right here with the Rivermen. Davin Bomberry spins off his man and tucks far side is Ross Hill. Him and Bomberry working the 2-man game to perfection. You can see it's Bomberry that rolls off the pressure and may have distracted the offense a little bit, or the defense rather, allowing Ross Hill to walk in, putting the Rivermen in double digits here. Another face-off win, Bloomberg's. Back close to the restraining line. Brooker Muir was able to pull the shoot in time. 8 minutes gone here in the third. Lead back up to 2. Merchants have been playing catch all game long. You've only been able to get it to 1, but big stop by Deacon Nutt as we get a penalty call. Back here on defense. Going to be the 4th power play coming up to the Rivermen. But that may not be the main story here. On this play, it's the shooter blown up at the end, but watch the save at the other side. Wow. Good effort from Deacon Knott. And now the power play will start here. Belanger. He came over at the last stoppage and asked for, it looked like he was asking for something from the room. And now there's a lot of work being done to some gear over there. Looks like Elin Henhock, the backup netminder, doing a lot of that work. Let's look at the back of Belanger. And down in the tunnel, by the way, looks like Thunderhill is changed out of his gear but walking around and has a drink. So try and sort out the goalie situation. I think it's a stick problem here for Belanger. And Wade Thompson needs to get paid extra as Belanger comes jogging back into the game. You know, everybody's got that one. Only one person's allowed to touch their stick, and perhaps Elin Henhock is the guy for Ty Belanger. Kobe Hanser getting called for the cross check. Fourth power play upcoming here, and first power play goal of the day for the Rivermen comes from Davin Bomberry in the middle, 13 seconds in. That is good a time as any. To pot one for Bomberry. His hat-trick goal and the 11th for the Rivermen. First one on the power play of the day. Garrett Wires with 5 points as well. Denton Miller with the assist. Minute 15 away from the halfway mark. Lead back up to 3. Largest it's been all day was 4 when it was 5-1 back in that first period. Deacon Knott will pull this back out of his boots. First period did end 6-4. Thanks to a run by the Merchants on a run here. And putting a shot on target. Belanger making a save with the pads. Picked up by the Rivermen, who will run up the near boards. Mason Hill. Flipping to Dockstader. Back across, Greg Elijah Brown. They continue cycling over on the right side. Setting up for an outside rip from Danton Miller. That hit off a defender. 5 now to shoot. He does as he runs in towards the crease of Knott, but he had it well protected. Now back across center. Sean Malloy. Darren Elliott to the trailing Pfeiffer. Stopped there a couple times. It works out of the corner. Zach Miller over to the far side, waiting for a screen. Was Tucker, and then big takedown just as the shot clock sounds. Official trying to break the pile free. Bloomberg's has the ball, and we'll bring it out for the Rivermen as we pass the halfway mark of this final regulation time period. 11-8 for the Rivermen, who have led the entire way. Trying to hand the Merchants just their second loss of the season. As we talk to you here on June the 28th. Ball up to center. Big hit, and argument can be made for either an 8 count or an over and back, but right into the back of Parker Pfeiffer. was the check, and headed back to the box are the Rivermen. I mean, perfectly timed and everything except for right into the numbers for Kessler Doolittle. So power play number 5. 3 for 4 coming in with a penalty shot goal are the Merchants today. Only had 1 in that second period though. Ball headed up and out of play. How about Belanger coming up to potentially throw a pick? Pfeiffer is going to stay off to our left-hand side as it's brought up by Danton Miller. On the run, Bomberry. Excuse me, that was Greg Elijah Brown that was cutting through the front of the crease. Nearly lost his footing. Miller has it back. Playing it to the far boards. 45 seconds gone here in the power play. Cutter to the front of the net, over the shoulder. Good find from Greg Elijah Brown, but Ross Hill in front of Deacon Knott, over the shoulder attempt. Merchants goalie, stood his ground. Pfeiffer working it around, low shot. Pfeiffer dragged out of the crease, which can't do here under OLA rules. Is allowed in the NLL, but this time it's turned back to the Rivermen. Chris Courtney rolls it to the far side. Dockstader bouncing off checks. Lost the ball, which bounces out to the far boards. Now there's only 10 seconds remaining in the Merchants power play. They'll get it across center. Pfeiffer. Devin to Parker, back to the captain. Penalty is over as Devin gets it and pots it. Wow, Parker Pfeiffer. Hard shot. Well, spinning away from trouble as the power play was expiring. A lot going on at the end of this one, including the 9th goal of the game for the Brooklyn Merchants. Here it comes, the work done through the middle of the floor, and great work done by Parker Pfeiffer. The Pfeiffer connection working again. Not officially a power play goal, but comes right at the end. Parker's 4th goal, 6th point. The shot comes in, handled there by Knott. 4 assists to Devin Pfeiffer. Parker now 1 off the Ontario Series lacrosse lead in points. Timed by Thunderhill, who exited this game. Merchants have it by the restraining line. That shot towards the foot. There, kicked out by Belanger. It'll roll back to the restraining line. Going for it. First Brooklyn player lost his footing, then upended Jake Krantz. Hard chop across center. Oohs and ahs off the Six Nation bench again. No call coming. Ball quickly played down into the corner outside. That one off the hand, I think, of Sean Malloy right in the middle. Now a second one from a double team. We're going to force this one high over top of Deacon Knott's net. Knott finds Renault at center. Off the bench, Cole Tucker. Playing it back here to Devin Pfeiffer, far side, low rip. Will McLeod, handled by Belanger. Ball takes a few skips off the glass from Chris Courtney, and the 8-second count called against the Rivermen. That one was tight, but credit Tucker, who was right there matching stride for stride. 5.5 left to go here in the third period. 2-goal advantage for the Rivermen. Renault, perhaps trying to get one back, will pass to the near side. Zach Miller, his lane to the net, cutaway. As it's played back to the restraining line. Hard rip from Cole Tucker, who scores. And just like that, Rivermen are back within one. It's as close as they've been all game long. Have got it there a couple different times, but they go into double digits now. And trail 11-10 here with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in regulation time. Big scrum for what is a very important face-off, which is going to roll back close towards the Rivermen bench. Eventually handled by Chris Courtney, stood up at the line by Volkov. Volkov's already got 2 goals in the game. Going to pass it back to the trailer again. Duncan looking low. Kobe Hanser. And he'll play it up into the stick of Brooke Muir. Will the Rivermen netminder to start transition. Rivermen are upset that stick was taken out of the hands of Brooker Muir. Now the Merchants coming back across center. A lot of jawing down there on the floor right now. Zach Miller. Big high step comes, rising shot. Don't think that got to the shoulder of Belanger. Shot clock will reset as Hairwires picks it up. Now Greg Elijah Brown. Passes to Big Tanton Miller, starts stirring up trouble in through the middle. Played back here to Dockstader. Annalise Dockstader. Setting up for the shot was Dan Miller. Didn't get a lot on it, but didn't need to. And now what do we got? Crease call, had to restart back in the orange carpet, I believe. With 4 minutes left to go, the Merchants looking for the tying goal. Renault. Out to the far boards. It comes back for Pfeiffer. Was looking for the corner. May have had it, but that one sailed a few feet wide of the net. Lowering his shoulder, Eddie Renault back to the crease, and in the crease is going to be the call. And now the Rivermen run it up. Jordan Goddard taking it by himself right now with 3.5 to play here in the third. Hairwire, swim move. Not going to let him get to the crease, though, was Sean Malloy. Bounces back in through the middle where it's intercepted by Rick McCrory. He'll find the trailing Matt Duncan, who scores. Transition for the Merchants leads to the tying goal. We're all knotted up at 11. Couple screens set and a slightly off-angle shot. Again, 11-11 here in the dying minutes of this game. 3:05 left to play in regulation time. They've credited the goal to Renault. Believe it should be Duncan trailing in transition. But either way, have been playing catch up the entire time, have never led. Have the Merchants. But inside of 3 minutes left to play, find themselves knotted up here at Iroquois Park. Blake McDonald. Down the boards, hair wires, back to Miller. McDonald as the lefties continue to cycle. Ross Hill flipping it back, they score. Everyone had touched it except for the eventual goal scorer. And finally, when it gets into that stick, into the back of the net, and guess what? Thunder Hill making his way back onto the floor. Through the middle, Greg Elijah Brown. Pair of goals in the first period. Nothing doing ever since. And what a time to get the hat trick. Different Merchants have registered points in this game. 11 on the side of the Rivermen. 23 out of 36 runners. Thunder Hill, first shift since going off with cramps. Back towards the corner. Ball going to bounce back to Goddard. Gets away from hair wires here with under 10 on the shot clock. He'll play it back to Bomberry. Quick shot as it came back in the direction of Oakley Thomas. One of those without a point here. And with 1:35 left to go, the Merchants find themselves having to play catch up yet again. Still no timeouts taken in this game. Parker Pfeiffer, 4 goals, pushes it to the corner. Merchants trying to set up with Renault. Through the middle. Couple different individual collisions. Fall as the shot was handled there by Belanger. Mason Hill. To Dockstader. Gonna slow things down, headed into the final minute of play here at Iroquois Park. No shot. Now they find one and pick the corner. Greg Elijah Brown, back-to-back goals for the second time in this game. Trying to bookend it with back-to-back ones. From roughly the same spot on the floor that he just scored to give the Rivermen a lead. Greg Elijah Brown does it again for his 4th of the afternoon. Early movement here off the draw from Liam McCrory. So the Rivermen with it again. Belanger made his way to the bench. They were blocking the door. He couldn't get in. He'll head back to the net now. 30 seconds left to go in regulation time. 10 to go here on the Rivermen shot clock, but they're in no hurry to get one. As I say that, Hairwires rips it high off Knott, and now it's going to roll back to the Merchants, who quickly call timeout. So final timeout here for Ryan Degerden and the Brooklin Merchants. Only a handful of seconds remaining here. Again, be sure you subscribe to the JVI YouTube channel and check for the Major Series lacrosse game coming up later on today. Brooklyn Lacrosse Club facing off against Six Nations Chiefs. Merchants. Winners of 9 straight since dropping their opener 10-6 in Owen Sound. 10 straight. This part of 4 straight at home. And 5 of their last 6 will travel to Collingwood on the 19th. Otherwise, July 4th, 6th, 12th, and 20th. Games here at Iroquois Park. Six Nations, meanwhile, told you they dropped their last game, 12-10, yesterday in Hamilton. They'll be back-to-back home games on July 5th and 6th. In Collingwood on the 13th, in Owen Sound on the 18th, and in Hamilton on the 20th. So only those 2 games remaining at home for the Rivermen at the ILA. Coming up next weekend from where we are here on June the 28th. Outside of the timeout here, they try and figure out how to reset the clock here, which is showing zeros. I think there's 20 left. In the game, and they're going to, time clock operator wants them to use the shot clock. Shot clock reads 20 seconds, and that's what we'll do. Merchants looking for a miraculous final 20 here. And starting with Pfeiffer. Keeping it up high. Through Renault, down towards the corner. Need a shot here in a hurry. They get one, but it's cleanly blocked by the Rivermen. Sticks are out of their bench in support. Net empty. Down to our right. Reaching in to pick it up and secure the ball is the Rivermen. And that'll be the shot clock to signal the end of the game as Six Nations picked up the ball right at the end. Picked up 2 goals near the end as well to make your final 13-11. For the Rivermen here over the Merchants. And again, that ends a lengthy run from the Brooklyn Merchants. So as they stand today, Merchants dropped to 9-2, 8-3 the Rivermen. Bengals 6-4, Owen Sound 6-4, Ennismore 2-10, Collingwood 1-9, all as they make the run to the President's Cup, which will be held in this building August 23rd to the 30th. For more information, visit presidentscup.lacrosse.ca. Our producer and director today was Gary Morrison. For him, the JVI Sports Network and the Ontario Senior Lacrosse League. I'm Matthew Carrick saying so long from Iroquois Park.